open your Blender, I always delete these two items, then you come to your imports. And what I have here is FBX, but you have an OBJ file. Yes, that's what I kept for you to download. Yes, so I've imported it now. Let me just play this. Yeah, if you can model, you model, but for now we are just using an imported stuff. Okay, then the next thing you should be considering is getting a HDRI. Yes, I think I will be giving that to you, but there are multiple sites where you can get a HDRI environment that you can use. Then your render engine, make sure it's in cycles. Yes, because there are some effects we want to apply. It has to be in cycles to do that. Then after that, your shadow catcher, which I've already brought into the scene, get a shadow catcher. Then then let's look for a way to dummy it. That's using it as just an item. Yes, now we can see the reflection just at the floor, on the floor, for me to say. Yes, then, but you observe that there are some items still showing. There are some colors still showing on it. That's because it's also being is a cast from the shadow catcher which we use, which is the plane. Okay, then after that, the next thing we need to do is to come into our shading right now. Now, from our shading, we need to look for a way to rotate the HDRI because the environment, the HDRI you might get online, and your scene might have a different lighting situation. So now, what I want to show you is how to make sure that your direction of the lights is same as that from your scene. Okay, so that's rotating your HDRI, so you get your mapping as I've done it. Then you get your coordinates and you link it up to to it. Make sure you add the render view. Then now you can change your z-axis and you see the shadow rotating. That's to show that your light direction is actually changing as the scene goes on. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Yes, come to film. Now we can create a transparent background. So then you set your camera. Make sure that it's camera to view. So when you rotate and move things around, um, everything stays together. Oh, what's actually going on? Yeah, I think we've lost it. Okay, make sure all your settings are correct, the way you want them to be, the frame per seconds, and the location. You have to check it also that you want to save your file. Make sure it's in PNG because what we want is actually a transparent background. Yes. Then after that, you render. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now you're in After Effects. Now in After Effects, you bring in your footage. That's the footage which you have shot that you want to apply your CG element to make it a composition. Yes, by just dragging and dropping it at this spot. Yes, you've created a composition of it, so you don't have to go through the long process of achieving that. Okay, now your scene plays. Now your scene plays. Okay, then you watch through your scene to make sure everything is in order. Then you come to tracking because you want to actually track it. So you look for motion tracking. Now we want the scene to be actually tracked because we actually did not use a tripod or any kind of stabilizer to hold on to the scene. And for the CG element to be able to be on the scene at the point we want it to be, we need to actually track it up. So there are different this thing, but we use the track camera. There are different forms of tracking for me to say. But for this scenario, we'll use the track camera because that's what we want to actually track in this scenario. You click on that, you allow it to analyze and solve the camera. Analyze the scene and solve the camera, and after that, you have your scene tracked. You can mark out some elements, create null and camera if you want to actually put something specific at a region. Yeah, so you won't start looking for it when you want. You can just later on use the position of that null to match up with the position of your element. That's if you actually want that. It all depends on how you want to create the scene. Now let's get okay, let's import our PNG file. Make sure that the PNG sequence is marked. Then you import. Bring it into the composition layers. Bring it into the composition layers and you then try to match it up with your scene depending on the nature of the animation. And once you've been able to create that, you come here and convert it to a 3D element. Yeah, so right now it's now a 3D element. And I think we remove that. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically it. Then you can maybe in in Premiere Pro or any other software. Okay. You can add motion blur and do some other effects on it depending on what you want. Like you can go ahead, color grade, and do some other stuff on it depending on what you actually want to do. Um, so that's basically it.